the confluence of the three rivers, the Ohio, the Allegheny, and the Monongahela. We are here at Pittsburgh's Acrisure Stadium. Today we hit Week 10, and we've got a good one in store between the New Orleans Saints and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it second and a foot or so. And last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well. And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins. And they're hoping to do it consistently here.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
An early test, 2 plays in. This is 3rd and 2. From the shotgun, it's Winston. Open man is Michael Thomas. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Winston to Thomas there for the Saints' first down. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season-open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. Ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I'd missed him, it would have been a long night.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Jameis to throw it. That's to his running back. It's Alvin Kamara. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 26. A good pickup there of 22. Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
2nd down, and it's Kamara again. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. The impressive opening drive continues and just space being created by those guys up front.
We're seeing this the same way, aren't we? We are seeing an offensive line, as this game gets started, as it starts to unfold, that they are dominating the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd down, Kamara. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up 1st and goal. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
Patterson is into the end zone for a Saints touchdown. This is a crew. They've come out flat their last 2 games, both losses, but just judging by the energy level, they look different here early, and that touchdown shows how.
Yeah, it seems to me that touchdown gets them off the treadmill. Because, you know, you've been on the treadmill. I've seen you work out. You go forever and ever, and it tells you you've gone somewhere, but you really haven't had the same spot. They've exchanged it.
Here's another carry for Harris. A gain of 3, 2nd down. The Steelers at 500 now, 4-4 on the year, and they come in off the extended break from the bye.
And I think it was much needed as well because you play 2.5 months. You know you're ready for some time off in order to get prepared for the home stretch. In fact, when they looked at the schedule to start the season, I think they liked where their open week fell.
And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Harris running straight ahead. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down. A couple of nice carries back-to-back here, establishing the ground game a bit.
Yeah, these aren't bare-bones runs now. I mean, they're getting substantial yardage, the kind of yards you're looking for, right? Let's go ahead and use a cliche. Stay ahead of the change, right? 5 or more yards each time. That's what you're looking for in setting a tone and getting your offensive line going.
Good sign on the opening drive. 6-0 our score after 1. Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Pickett, he'll look to throw it. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 12-yard. This drive rolling. It's another 1st down. A run with Harris out of the shotgun. David Onyemata, excellent effort. And he earns a tackle for loss.
Oftentimes when you see a running back get bunched up in the backfield, it's usually because the defensive tackle is eating up blockers for others to make the play. Not in this case.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. They'll run again with Harris. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. And for the Saints here on third down, an extra defensive back on the field. They run the play fake. Here's Pickett. Steps away to his left. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's fourth down. Chris Boswell on for the field goal. A 33-yard attempt. Boswell's kick is good. And they are on the board, trailing now 6-3. So the field goal that cuts the lead in half as they, too, are able to get some points on their initial drive of the game.
Yeah, all in all, a pretty positive response, right, to the points that were scored against them. And they got a little help from their opponent anyway. Missed the conversion, so now they're just 3 back.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Saints take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now Winston. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And, Charles, that's now 4 interceptions over his last 3 halves of football, because, remember, he threw 3 picks last week.
Starting to wonder if maybe defenses and those coordinators have identified something on tape with what he's doing. Maybe a movement, maybe the way he's moving his shoulders. Who knows what it could be? He could have a few tells out there that they're keying in on and allowing defenses to get to the football a little bit faster. People steal signals. Maybe sometimes they can figure out what the quarterback's doing just by his movements.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Now Pickett. That's swung out wide to Harris. And they move this all the way down to the 9. Now a first down carry for Harris. 42 yards on the ground for him so far.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
2nd and goal from inside the 5. Again, it's Harris, but he will lose yardage here. Back to the 4-yard line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. On the jet sweep, this is Johnson. No gain on the play that time, so a big stop, but it's going to leave them with a 4th and goal. Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing the coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
And he'll be out of bounds here, a yard shy of the 25 at the 24. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
As the offense comes out here, Charles, maybe perhaps a bit more of a focus on the run game for this drive after tossing an interception on the previous one?
I think that's a good way to look at it and a good way to think about it, but maybe they get to it in a little bit different way, because after you throw an interception, you want to make sure you keep your quarterback's confidence high. So maybe give him a couple easy throws that he can complete, and then get to the running game and try and get things settled down.
Yeah, and still in the first half here, a long way to go.
Looking to throw again on second down. Winston finding Taysom Hill, complete. On the move past the 40. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33. 1:54 left on the clock here in quarter number 2. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Running left on the handoff is Kamara. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose 1 or 2.
This defense is really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Winston. This one complete to his fullback out of the backfield.
And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line.
Well, this has certainly been a nice drive with the way they've spread the football around. Here, they even get the fullback involved in the passing game. That's got to cause a lot of consternation on the defensive side. You've got to cover him, too. That makes things really difficult.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point, and they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
The kick by Lutz is good, and they take the lead here as it's now 9-6.
So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal, you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
And with them trailing, there is still enough time to try to string a few plays together, maybe get into field goal range. Pickett's throw complete to Freiermuth.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half.
Off play action. Pickett.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted.
Picked up by Afitu Melifonwu. And the Saints are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line.
Well, it's not the first time we've seen him give one up here during his rookie season. And in this case, zone coverage forced the mistake. He's made some strides week to week in how he's handling the different type of coverages that he's seeing. But clearly, there's some growing still to do.
The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And he's got his man on the crossing route. That's Landry. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. That reception, it brings him up to the 700 plateau. He's at 700 career NFL catches now.
And that club in baseball, a rather exclusive club and one we talk about all the time. In football, put you in the top 50 all-time range. Not so bad either.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. He's got this one completed to Mims. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. Winston to give, it's Kamara. And he'll get it down here to the 43. So we have reached halftime with the visiting Saints out on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Steelers going to get the football first here, trailing on the scoreboard as we are back underway on EA Sports. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter three.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well. They've kept them around in this game. Now they got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. Finding room at midfield. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A pickup of 24 on the third down conversion.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
It's brought in by Harris. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. They hand this off to Harris. And he'll get this just inside the 30-yard line.
And that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Harris. Just a couple on the ground there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and about 6.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Seventh play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6. Back to throw. Pickett. Open man, that's the tight end Freiermuth. And he'll be stopped well short. Only 2 yards there. 4th and 3.
Excellent job there defensively. Gave up the underneath to the tight end on 3rd down, and they made sure that they did their job. Got him on the ground and prevented him picking up a first down.
Boswell's kick is good, and that will tie the score now at 9 apiece. So they come away from this opening drive in the third quarter with only 3, but it does draw them even.
Yeah, that has to be job 1, doesn't it? A touchdown definitely would have been nice. We know that. But here, you get back on even terms, and now you've got most of the second half to try and get yourself into a position to win.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And their three-point halftime lead gone now, back to a tie game. But, Charles, I don't imagine that changes too much for this offense.
I would agree. I don't think it changes much at all, whether it's a three-point lead or a tie game. They know they have their work cut out for them, and they were going to run their offense in the same vein.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Now with the play clock about to expire, we get a whistle and a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter.
Ready.
From the 27, Winston. There's Chris Olave. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Winston on target to Olave for the Saints first. Now, this is a quarterback that's already in the top 100 all-time in passing yards, but that last throw going to move him past Roger Staubach on the all-time list. Roger Charles at 22,700.
Don't forget, he also won 2 Super Bowls, played from 1969 to 1979. And I would dare say Roger's numbers would be larger, but remember, he had a commitment to the Navy. A graduate of the Naval Academy, and back then you had to serve your 5-year hitch before you could go on and join the NFL.
On 2nd and 9, Winston. Oh, this is intercepted, intended for Hill. Picked up by Minkah Fitzpatrick. And the return stops at the 39-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now a give, running left is Harris. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 62 yards on the ground for him now as he's done that on 15 carries.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try
the Saints, and they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. And that, Charles, you'd have to think a pretty avoidable mistake.
You're exactly right. Quarter. Those turnovers can change the tide of the ball game. And now it's up to their defense to try and bail them out. Got to take care of the rock. I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even